Thank you, Steven K. Ladies and gentlemen, here is his latest track. Video is out now. It's called Turn It Up.
She's here for the action. She was a fine country beauty from her hat to her boots, with those skin-tight jeans and a don't mess with me attitude. She hit that dance floor running, it party like the sea. She walked up to the stage and she looked up at me. Well, turn it up, shake it out on the floor, play it loud, 'cause we love that country sound. Turn it loose, as we're stomping our boots, just play that rock and country music, let us do what we do. With those skin-tight jeans and a don't mess with me attitude. She hit that dance floor running, it party like the sea. Then she walked to the stage and she looked up at me. Well, turn it up, shake it out on the floor, play it loud, 'cause we love that country sound. Turn it loose, as we're stomping our boots, just play that rock and country music, let us do what we do. Well, turn it up, shake it out on the floor, play it loud, 'cause we love that country sound. Turn it loose, as we're stomping our boots, just play that rock and country music, let us do what we do.
There you go, Steven K. and Turn It Up. And wow, that sax just kicks it, doesn't it, John Bon Jovial?
Oh, man, I tell you what, that's like the secret sauce. It's great. It's excellent. It really is. And, you know, it makes that thing just kick it up more than I thought it would, and very impressed. Mr. K got himself a hit.
Brings back shades of Boots Randolph and how he used to work in country music, and I love it. That's definitely a club song. I could see that. They still have jukeboxes in clubs anymore. I could see that on the jukebox for years. That's just one of those songs. I know what you mean. And we thank Steven K. for sharing it with us. We look forward to the next time. I know he's got an album he's putting together, and hopefully we maybe get to play some tracks from that one. We're going to move along here to our second guest in just a moment, John Bon Jovial. Any comments on Steven K.?
Well, I think he's going to be a success with the music that he's got. I think he needs to polish a few aspects of the music. I know he's been doing it for a long time, but, you know, if he wants to get any airplay on, you know, terrestrial commercial radio, it's not going to take much, because he's got a good base on his production values, on the way he's put the band together. And if he accomplishes that, then I think that we're going to be hearing a lot more from Mr. Steven K.
Well, I'll tell you, our next guest we're going to hear more from, he was with us, I don't know, what was it, a couple of years ago, July of 2020. He was with us with a group from the Philippines called Charles Dazza and the Revenants. Now, I understand from talking with Larry that the pandemic did them in, they fell apart. And Larry has since formed this new project when we're going to be talking with him right after we listen to the first track from his new project, the L&M Project Band. And here they are with a thing called Chomp, Chomp, Gator.
Chomp Chomp was his name. Over 20 feet in 1,000 pounds. All the local folks down there just don't come around. There ain't no man that can tame the beast. Need a gator hunter to get that gator meat. Chomp Chomp Gator. Chomp Chomp Gator. Yeah. In the city there came a big train, bringing evil names. Badass Jane. She loves the taste of alligator soup. Chomp Chomp Gator, she knows just what to do. She hung a line full of alligator bait, stood on the shore of the Mississippi River bank. Oh, Chomp Chomp Gator, yeah! Boy, you're going down. Badass Jane, jump on his back. He began to roll. He was under attack, but Jane pulled a pistol strapped to her hip. One right between the eyes, and Chomp Chomp Gator quit. Delta, they crowned her Gator Queen. But Badass Jane done fled down to New Orleans. No, a Chomp Chomp Gator.
All righty, there you go, Chomp Chomp Gator. That's the L&M Project Band. L&M Project Band, all the way from the Philippines. We say hello to Larry of the L&M Project. Hello, Larry.
How you doing, David?
Doing just fine, thanks. How are you doing bright and early in the morning over there?
Pretty good.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad to have you with us. And apologies to our listeners who were expecting Anthony Smith. Unfortunately, due to some unfortunate circumstances, he was unable to join us, and we hope he'll be with us again in the future. But I want to thank you, Larry, for picking up the slack and jumping in at the last minute to join us here on the David Bowers Awards. I love the music of your new project. Tell us about the L&M Project.
Well, as you kind of mentioned before, with the Charles Dazza and the Revenants, and we had actually appeared on your show, it was probably, like you said, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, July 2020.
Yeah, a little over, about a year and a half ago, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, when the pandemic hit, it we really had a blow from the pandemic, and we weren't able to rehearse or anything of that nature, and everybody just kind of went their own separate way. So late, it was probably October last year, I got together with one of the guitar players from Charles Dazza and the Revenants, Mark Ervie DeJesus, and I started writing some music and got him in on the project. Went to the studio and started recording about a year ago some various tunes that we wound up putting out several singles through the last year. I think it was probably right around July or August of 2021. I had read actually a comment on Facebook that someone had made about a album that was done by various artists, and the comment actually said, it'd be nice if someone wanted to pick this up and do a rock opera type thing. So it got me thinking, hey, I'll try to write something like a rock opera. Of course, I've never done it before and had no idea where to even start. So after doing a couple, 2 or 3 months of research on kind of how to go about it and getting a story concept and everything, and started writing the music. And then we wound up getting into the studio at the end of September of this year, and we just completed the album, the tracking of it, around the 26th of November. And so the tracks we finally got back from mastering, and we're ready to move on it.
Well, we are just thrilled to pieces to be able to debut the album here. Again, thank you. There were a lot of people that got messed up with the pandemic, and yes, there were some groups that didn't survive for a various number of reasons, and I'm glad to see you found a way to recover and get back onto it. And when I first heard this album, I caught the connections. There was a mention in that first track of Badass Jane, who is the namesake of the album. I got the thematic feeling understood, and I really also got the impression that there's kind of a superhero being molded there. This is someone we could see more of in the future.
Yeah, I left it kind of open. That the actual story. If you hear the entire album, which actually it just only contains about 7 tracks on this portion of it, but it actually follows the story of a girl named Jane, her growing up, getting married, and but when she was younger, she always wished that she could be a superhero and have that kind of thing inside of her. So when she got older, this superhero type person comes out, but in reality ruins her life and the life of her husband, and just ruins everything for them. And that's how the story kind of progresses all the way up till through their death. This Badass Jane's the one that caused all of that. So
before I ask the next question, I know John Bon Jovial wants to get in here. John, what you got?
Well, you pretty much what you just said there, Larry, kind of altered my first question. Is the Chomp Chomp alligator, is that Badass Jane?
It's part of Jane's journey, of the things that she did, is where that goes. That's why it's actually, as I was saying, it's the 3rd track on the album. She winds up in the alluvial plains of the Delta in Mississippi, and she winds up, killing this giant alligator that they can't get no one else to do, but this Badass Jane character actually does that.
Yeah, here in Southwest Florida, we're very familiar with gators, and we're also very familiar with those huge gators. And I don't know if you've ever had gator nuggets, and that's a legit thing. But you make them right; they're really yummy. They're very good.
I never had them, but that's quite a story, and I am really interested. I want to go back and listen to the whole album in its entirety, which I haven't yet. I've sampled it, but I have not gotten to listen to the whole album, and I definitely plan on doing that. It's quite a creation you've come up with, and I salute you just on coming up with the idea, putting it together, and creating the final project. I mean, that is a work in itself. What happens from here on out is just frosting on the cake. And we are going to be playing the title track after we talk with